Yeah, I heard word around town, it's a poppin' now.
Hey yo, bow, it's the King Hitman here, and I've got you with another Dokkan battle video. We have the Tanabata wish strips list for 2022. I did one of these last year. I called it a hit list. I think that sounds kind of badass, I can't lie. So I want to do another one. So this year the list is very similar. I don't like that at all, but some of these guys have gotten easy A's and awakenings and things of that sort, right? But a lot of these, like, some of these cards have gotten easy A's within the last year, and they're already outdated, like drastically outdated. So it's very, very annoying when you look at the list and it's not too much different. However, I do think, while I was going to just not do this list, like seriously, I think it's important I give you guys my honest opinions. Maybe global players want the heads up, and players who aren't as savvy to the game, or if you just want to hear my opinion on it, I really appreciate that. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Well, of course, we have the AGL Super Saiyan 2 Angel. Oh, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do 4 tiers, by the way. I'm going to do great pickup, which I'm setting the bar really low. So calling it a great pickup does not really mean it's a great unit in today's meta. It just means it's great comparatively, right? Good pickup, which is like you can use them in at least one good mode, like difficult content mode, or for of some use, right? And then mid, and then of course terrible, like don't even consider them. But at least mid is like, they're bad, but at least have them in your box. I'd say the AGL Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku, his Easy A is a good pickup. Like I use him in Battlefield a lot. I do not think he's a bad unit at all. I really like him. I think the fact that he generates the AGL key spheres and heals so much from them, even though health pools are like more, I don't know, you can get 700 HP now, not 700k HP nowadays, right? So I think stuff like that factors into him becoming older. Like he passes off as an older unit now, even upon Easy A. Him and the Vegeta are still good pickups, so we'll get to the Vegeta later. Dispo is just bad. Like Dispo Easy Aid, and I've never ever found use for him. Like I've tried, no Super Battle Road runs. Like we thought he was gonna be good for special pose, he wasn't. Battlefield, I never use him in Battlefield. He takes too long to build up. God Event, terrible. Red Zone, I'm not gonna say it. And then Infinite Dragon Ball History, it's like, no, like unless you're trying to get a mission done, and I don't even know which missions he would be useful for. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Skinny Boo's a great pickup. I think Skinny Boo's teams, a lot of his teams, he holds value on. His dodge will just keep him relevant. He has that 300k defense turn 1, right? Like he can do that. So Skinny Boo for short events like Super Battle Road, Extreme Super Battle Road, Battlefield, he can hit. Now the thing about Battlefield is I like to use like pure Saiyan or Goku family leaders, because a fair amount of them end up being AGL. It really works out for you if you do it correctly. I do that a lot. However, if you're just using Super AGL, as you should, like they want you to do in Battlefield anyway, Skinny Boo fits on those teams very well. And he, like I said, he's so beneficial on turn 1. He wastes no time getting to it. AGL Caulifla, I kind of want to lean towards mid, but just the dodge chance, I'm gonna put her in the good tier. I don't really think she's terrible, right? So I think it's fair to put her in the good tier. She has use if you like I said, Battlefield, Easy A's, stuff like that. AGL Cell is just mid. Like he wants to be used alongside Otherworld Warrior category allies. Nah, it's not worth it. The AGL Hellfighter 17, that is a great pickup. That guy is really good. The Android team flourishes, and that is partially because of his Easy A semi recently, and now he's on global. So if you want to test him out yourself, like you'll understand why he's the type of unit you want dupes in. He's very, very good. I really like this guy. Full of mid, like I really bad, but I'm gonna say mid just to be polite. AGL Golden Frieza, great. Like if you don't have him, he's great. But if you do have him, I'd say you don't need dupes in him. Like his defensive purpose is all you'll ever ask of him. So asking him to like have bigger defensive stats or offense or stuff like that, not really necessary. Like all I'd give him in the hidden potential system is probably dodge. If I were to, I don't know for how many dupes I have in him, but I know I pulled him multiple times. So I'd say don't overthink him, but get at least one copy of him. That is a great copy if you don't have him at all. The AGO Super Saiyan Goku, terrible. Like he's just not good. This guy is actually a good pickup. This Resurrection F Blue Goku, especially with the Resurrection F Blues being, I think he goes 6 for 7 with them. No, he goes 5 for 7 because he has Kamehameha and they do not. So he's a good pickup. Is it 6 for 7? It might be 6 for 7 actually. Even with Kamehameha not being, I think it's 6 for 7. So nah, he's a really good partner for them. And they run a Realm of Gods team. So if you're running full Realm of Gods pure Saiyans, like all him and those sub EZAs for the blue Vegetas that recently got their awakening, stuff like that, he's very, very helpful. I really like his role on that team as the last option, right? Like there's so many options, but he still does, like, you know, 5 million, 5.5 million attack stats, 20% attack support. He's not terrible. He's more of a fun unit, but I think he's a good, damn near great pickup. He's just, his defense is questionable, but his offense is actually really good. The AGL Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, he's really a mid pickup because his defense, nowadays it's like units that need to get hit and start out with bad defense just do not work. Like, they don't work at all. I can't use him in the later stages of Battlefield. He has gotten me killed. Like, he'll take like 40k and then 31k and then, like, I don't know, 15k. Like, his defense can reach great levels, but it takes the hits. He has the same issue as the new AGL Goku Black on JP. So you guys understand my logic with that, right? I'd say I'd put him in the tier of mid. I think I'm okay putting him in mid. AGL Kaioken Goku, he's terrible. He's of no use. I don't think I've ever like wanted to use this guy. I don't even know that I have him EZA'd on global because I've seen enough footage of him. He's not worth it. The Tech Super Saiyan Vegeta, if you're into no item runs, he can be useful because he does stun, but I don't think he's a good pickup. I'd say mid. Like, his defense is terrible. His attack is never gonna overwhelm you. He's on teams that are like, there's so many better options, right? So if he EZAs though, he could be crazy. He could. Yeah, Android 16. I'm gonna go good. I'm gonna go good because, like I said, the Android team is very flushed out. So when you have units that are giving, you know, all around support, like this Hellfighter 17 I referred to earlier, that makes defensive units like him look a lot better because less is asked of them. And both of these guys can be great defensively. It's just his high. I think it's a high chance, or is it a great chance now? His high chance to guard upon EZA. It can, like, it's a real game shifter. When he gets that, he is damn near untouchable. Like, he's one of those units. Maybe I shouldn't say damn near, because nowadays, you know, a defense is just so important because units are just taking more and more damage, right? Bosses are becoming more difficult. But he's a very good defensive banner unit when he gets certain situations, right? But he does look good on that Android team. That Tech Kaioken Goku, he's better than the AGL one, I'd easily argue, but he's also, like, if you're trying to get legendary Vegeta event missions done, he's good because he stacks. I wouldn't act as though he's a great pickup, so I'm going to put him in mid. Heck Bulla, terrible. However, because she's an all-type support unit, if you don't have a copy of her and you fill out most of this list, I'd say give her one copy, just in case she ever EZAs. Have one copy. Technical Angel Frieza, terrible. This Father Son Vegeta, terrible. He's a really, really good pickup. I'd lean towards great, but I'm just gonna stick to, you know what? No, like I said, it's comparative, so I'm gonna put him in the great tier. I like what his role is for the team. Janembu is a great pickup. Janembu is like top 3 on this entire thing. Janembu, his teams are all he lacks, but when he's actually getting the ball rolling, Janembu's is crazy. Janembu's fucking crazy, dog. Karoli's terrible. Toa is mid. Icon's terrible. Tech Vegito is a very, very good pickup. I think he's one of the more overrated sub EZAs ever, but he's still a very good pickup. I like him. His defense is just, like, he can't reach 300k defense typically, and really I'd argue he struggles to get around 250. He's very overrated because he's a good partner for STR LR Vegito, so people lose their mind over that, but he's still a good option, right? So he's definitely in the good tier. This Blue is in the mid tier, even with his semi-recent EZA. Tech Majin Vegeta is in the mid tier. you can use him in like extreme Z areas and stuff like that, right? Like he's not useless. So I did say I'll give a nod to units you can make something out of. Oda Magetta's terrible. Ribrianne is definitely in the terrible tier now. I don't see what you would use her for. Inzumasu, I was hoping he'd get his EZA during the Tanabata celebration. I don't think that he will, now that we see Rose and Tech Vegito are getting their awakenings. So I guess I'm just going to leave him in the terrible tier. Celza is in the mid tier. Like, it's not... I think Celza would look decent if the teams were a bit better. Maybe Celza's just lacking. I think, yeah, the mid tier might be just the best for him. The Int, I have the exact same things to say about this Int. Oh, excuse me, I called him Hellfighter. He's normal GT 17, and then this one's Hellfighter. I didn't see the rest of his fit. You know, these guys are inverses, so sometimes it throws me off. But yeah, this guy is actually Hellfighter 17. But he has the exact same strengths as this guy. I'd argue the AGL one is better. I like him a bit better based on the way the category prop works in turn. I like him a bit better. But Pandel, not good. Like, even with the EZA, just not good. Into Vegito, mid. Demigor is terrible. Cooler is terrible. This Into Vegeta is top 5 pickup on this list. He gets like 450k, 600k defense. He's a really, and not like you're forcing it either. He can do it casually. Like, if you're not missing supers with him, he can do it very easily. He is very good for long events. However, his defense by like turn 4 can be really impressive. You'd be shocked. So I'd say if you can get a dupe or two in him, he's a really good unit. After you get those dupes in him to get his additionals, just his defensive raise by 50% upon super attack completely separates him from the STR Goku counterpart. He is a very good defensive unit. Into Golden Frieza terrible, Incel terrible. Crazy. She's one of the, when I said that comment about units that have EZA'd within the last year or so, I was looking dead at her. Dead ass. I was looking at Android 21. To EZA and already be like looked down upon the way 21 is insane to me. Like, I was giving 16 a bit of crap. She deserves all of it. He's gonna be way better than her. If he's not already of more value than her, he's gonna be way better than her. I'd say the best asset about 21 is her leader skill. But even with her attack and defensive debuffing in, say, Super Battle Road, defense is still terrible. Like, she takes monstrous amounts of damage. Very sad. It's very weird. They knew they were gonna up the rate of difficulty in the game, and for some reason 21 just, they like threw her in the water knowing they were going to go from like 4 feet to like 9 feet, and they didn't even give her any help. Like, it's very weird, very weird. This STR Goku's bad, this Final Form Frieza's bad. I'd say this guy's good because he's on, the Majin Vegetas just end up being on a lot of teams, so I'm gonna give him the good nod because he has hella teams. He's good for Extreme STR, he generates the orbs, he's good against Goku family, or at least tolerable, right? Tolerable against Goku family enemies. I think you can use him in Battlefield. He is not at all a trash unit. Like, I would not slander him too much. STR Rage Trunks, I was hoping he'd also get his EZA, like I said about the Zamasu, but he is not. You can use him in Battlefield because his mitigation and then topped with type advantage, he can tank decently well in there, if not very well in there. So I'd say he's going in the mid tier. But that's because that's the only place you would even consider using him, I think. I think that's fair to say. This Super Saiyan 2 Bulma and Vegeta unit, and it's bad. Just bad. God Topo, bad. Like, he's only good for showcase environments. He cannot hold his own at all. STR Pan is a very, very good pickup. Like, leaning towards, looking at the rest of this list, I'm just going to slide her in the great tier. But it's kind of like you don't know exactly where to use her. At least I don't know exactly where to use her. I don't find myself ever looking at her and being like, oh yeah, I should slide her on the team. But she can be very good defensively. She's a very, very good, tank option if you're looking for that filler option. STR Zamasu, I don't have to say anything. Barlot is also, he's mid, man. And I wanted him to be very good, but Barlot is definitely mid upon his Fusion's EZA. Cooliza is actually not terrible. Like, What do I use Cooliza? I've used Cooliza recently. What did I use him for? Oh man, I forgot. I'd have to look at his teams, but I've used him semi recently. Maybe it wasn't Battlefield. Was it Battlefield? Maybe it was Battlefield. I've used Cooliza for something recently, and he performed pretty well. Like he'd get a extra point or two, but I'm gonna leave him in the mid tier just because I don't find myself using him. Right? STR Fat Boo is bad. The STR Gotenks is bad. Super Saiyan 2 Trunks is a good pickup. However, his team. The thing about him is his team is gonna get updated annually, right? The crossover category, so he'll keep finding ways to sneak onto teams, at least for showcase environments. But I actually do feel like he has hella teams, and I find myself looking at him as a legitimate option. His support is significantly like less. Like I think it's only 25% in one key if you're not a crossover category ally. But his defense can be tolerable, right? Like he can defend himself somewhat. And I'd say, like I said, he's on a lot of teams. So do with that what you will. STR Gotenks is terrible. Majub is mid, I guess. So this is a guy, I've been saying his praises since he got his EZA on Global. If you have him rainbowed, or like, I'd say pull him passively. I wouldn't say grab him with the Tanabata tickets. But if you pull him passively and then end up using him, he can reach like 260, 300k defense. He can be a really solid unit. It's just, one thing I hate is he only has 6 links, and you do feel that. Like, it does feel like he's missing. He suffers a lot from having that one less link. I don't know what link it would be. If it would be like Saiyan Pride or Soul versus Soul. I don't know what it would be. But he do feel that. But he can be good for Extreme Z areas. He's good for a lot of the Extreme Z areas, especially with the Hero Extermination EZAs, you know, stuff like that. Like I said, this STR Goku is just terrible, bro. He's going in the midsection for sure. Skinny Boo's bad because there's no reason to ever grab him. Like, he was good for Extreme Class or Extreme Majin Buu Saga SBR. That's all I'd really give him. Father Son Gohan's bad. Physical Kaioken Goku's bad. The Physical Vegeta is a good pickup. I'd say he's a good pickup. He's good against Goku enemies, which is of course Goku family enemies, which is of course very common. Same things I said about the Tech Kaioken Goku is magnified with this Vegeta. All the good things I said is magnified with this Vegeta. So you guys get where I'm coming from with that. Physical Kefla is good, but like barely not mid. I feel like Physical Kefla's defense stacks really slow. The dodge is helpful, but if she gets touched before doing like 3 defensive stacks, you really feel it. Like you'll grab like say 7 orbs with her and you'll be like, oh, she must be at a great defensive level. No, like you'll do 2 supers and then grab 7 orbs, look at her defense, and her defense is like still below 250k. I don't really like Physical Kefla. I'm spitballing numbers, but you get what I'm saying, right? But she is on hella teams. She was the best Patara leader for a while before the 3 years got their EZA, so of course Int Vegito replaced her as that. I don't think I have much to say. Physical Weirs is actually really good. This is what pisses me off. Physical Weirs is really good, but we don't know where to use him at. Like, he suffers from the fact that he's Beerus fused with Whis, right? If this was just a Beerus unit, or matter of fact, better yet, just a Whis unit with the exact same kit, we would just be so much more. Maybe, you know what would be a better way to phrase it? I think also his links are a problem because they're the Beerus type links, so you don't know exactly what to use them with. I'd say if he was a Saiyan, like let's say he was a Kid Trunks, just I'm spitballing, like a Int Kid Trunks, this exact same kit, he would have so many places to be used, but because of he's just Beerus and Whis fusion, he suffers from that. He suffers from that for sure. Physical Kale, I think, can be useful. Like in SBR, it can be really helpful. Like Universe 6 SBRs and stuff like that can be really helpful. But I wouldn't say that's like a phenomenal option. Battlefield can be helpful. Anywhere else? Maybe some Extreme Z areas. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure which one she's applicable to off the top of my head. I think that's all I've really got to say for her. Bergamo's terrible. He is AGL Goku Black times like 7. It's bad. He has nothing turn 1. Terrible. Physical Super Kaioken Goku. if he were to easy A, bro, like we've been saying this for a while, but if he easy A's his Linc set, I think he's the very last unit they've ever done this with, because it used to be like the biggest. It used to be the biggest asset in a unit's kit to have the triple threat Linc set in their kit, but he has Prepare for Battle, Over in a Flash, and Shocking Speed, if I'm not mistaken. He's the very last unit. He has to be. He's the last unit to ever get that in their kit. I'm trying to check my account on Global right now, but he's very bad, but his EZA, he has so much potential. On top of having Super Saiyan, on Global he has Fierce Battle, on JP he has Shattering the Limit. He's just bad, man. He is bad. I wish he was better. I do. I hope he EZAs soon, because he can do so much for so many teams. Let me look at his kit. I want to keep my eye on him. I want to talk about him for a moment here and see what he can bring one day. I doubt he ever will, but maybe one day, right? The Super Kaioken Goku, his TUR, I mean, he does immense damage too. As a banner TUR, he does immense damage. His passive is only giving himself 3 ki and attack 100% when HP is 50% or above. His super attack does sacrifice 7% HP, but whatever, right? Yeah, so he has all 3 of the triple threat Linc set. Prepare for Battle, Shocking Speed, Over in a Flash, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Otherworld Warriors, and Fierce Battle. He's on 10 different teams, you can put, it's just the Goku type teams, and then like Otherworld Warriors, right? And final trump card, by the way. But his EZA could be so impactful. It could be, because he's a key battery. He just is. The Physical Rage Trunks, he's terrible. He's only good for showcases. Physical Sin Shenron is terrible too. Like, he's going in the mid tier. I don't care. Lack of teams. The Tech Sin Shenron is like 14 times better than this guy. And among other things, he's just not good enough. He's just not. He's not. Chow Man, the God. He's the best pickup on this entire list. I'm joking, but I'm serious. He is honestly like just an uber. He's a top 3 unit. Like, if there's ever been a top 3 unit, Chow Man is in that talk every single year. He just does not age a day. At this point, you don't even have to awaken him to UR. I'd say he sits at SSR and he outperforms just about everybody in the game. He's insane, man. I love that guy. Physical Mirror, he's terrible, actually. He got his EZA and he was just reduced to irrelevance about 2 weeks later. Very sad, because he was gone out of banner. Him and Toa were just gone out of banners for a significant amount of time. I think it was, what, 3 years or something like that? Very sad. The Physical Gotenks, he's just old. Like, he was one of the first sub EZAs. He's just old. I don't follow him. The Physical Gohan is a good pickup because he's a rainbow support. He's helping every single person when he's on those teams. I really like him, using him for showcases. He can get over 200k defense. Like, he can look tolerable for showcase environments when you actually pull him, like, and give him additionals and stuff like that. The Physical Goku's bad, the Fat Boo is mid, and then the Physical Vegeta is also bad. That is my thoughts on everything about this Tanabata wish strips. I can't believe this took me 23 minutes. Jeez, if you stuck around to the end of this video, I just gotta say, you must really like the sound of my voice, dog, because I appreciate you, man. There's no way. I couldn't hear myself talk that long, man. Thank you so much. Like the video, subscribe if you were more interested in more Hitman. I appreciate your time regardless. I hope I gave you guys some advice or some entertainment. One or the other. It's the Young Hitman, and I'm off this.